Hi everyone. I'm making this video after a lot of friends and well-wishers asked me to share my experience as a COVID patient. Yes, I got infected and I'm recovering. I'm doing very well right now, and I just thought that I should make this small video so that if there are any takeaways for anybody from it, they should benefit. This whole process is different for everybody. The symptoms can be different for everybody. The way your body responds, the way your family takes it, the way the surroundings accept you can be different. But I still thought I should share what I went through, or how things were at my end. Actually, I had made a log of whatever I was going through during my isolation days, and I am actually going to refer to it in between. So let me start with the beginning. It all started when I all of a sudden started feeling fatigued, extreme tiredness. I had immense body ache. My legs were paining, my ankles, my knees, my calves. They felt very tired, and mostly I just didn't feel like moving itself. My back was aching, and it was difficult to even wake up. So initially I thought maybe because I was not having any house help for 4 5 months, so maybe that's why my body has is tired, and that is why I'm having body ache. But then it just didn't feel right. It was too much of tiredness, too much of fatigue, and I almost at all times felt like sleeping, lying down, sleeping. And it was difficult because I have two kids. One is 7, one is 2, and they were unable to understand what was happening with mom. Why was she again and again lying down and was actually falling asleep every time she lied down? So that is how it started. It was mostly fatigue, body ache. I didn't have any temperature. I did not have cough or cold, or extreme sore throat or anything of that sort. Then it went on for 2 3 days. The tiredness continued, and slowly I was feeling that my sense of smell was reducing. However, I felt maybe because I might have a cold, and that is why it was uh, reducing. But it was at a shocking stage when one day I just couldn't smell anything. Initially it was like whatever the kids brought to me, or my husband plucked some tulsi leaves and he wanted me to smell it, and I just couldn't recognize without properly seeing if it was mint or tulsi, and we all were joking about it. We thought it was fun. When the next day I purposely went and tried smelling coffee, and I just could not smell anything. It was scary. It was very scary, because that is when it actually hit us that I might be infected, because I couldn't smell anything. Even the strongest of kapoor or camphor or vicks or any such strong smell was also not even the faintest of sense was coming. Then by night I couldn't even taste anything. So whatever was served, I just didn't feel like I'm having any taste, neither salt nor sweet nor sour, nothing. It was like maybe hot food, or hot hot cup of tea just felt like hot water, because I didn't even have the aftertaste of tea or coffee, or not even the smell. Initially, we were actually taken aback at that stage, and we thought of going ahead with the test. That itself was very scary, and we were very anxious, and we didn't know whether we were doing the right thing. But yes, I guess we were doing the right thing because we had two kids and we didn't want to take any more chances with them. We suspected it must be COVID. We tried calling the Arogya Setu app number 1076. We thought maybe we should contact them and ask them what we should be doing next. So we called up the number, and we were connected to a Karnataka number. From there, they gave us another phone number and connected us to a Pune number. And there we spoke to a doctor, the assigned doctor there, who listened to my symptoms and told me that I should get tested, and from there I should take the next step from there. So I did get tested, and for testing, because we didn't know what and where to go, we booked a private test with Metropolis Labs, which initially said that they don't require any prescription for the test. So yeah, we booked it, and after a few glitches about whether or not we should be providing the prescription, the person who was supposed to come for testing did come home. He wore his PPE kit right in front of us before entering the house, and he took my nasal and throat swabs. The next day was tough. Yes, I was already in pain, and then we were waiting for the results. By around 4 or something, we got the results, and it said detected, COVID detected. I was positive, and we all sort of, even after knowing, we sort of panicked and we didn't know what to do, and there was a lot of anxiety about the process that was going to follow this. And then we settled down after maybe 10-15 minutes, and we thought what to do next. We didn't know what to do, and we called up an NMMC. There we informed the person, the COVID helpline person, whoever was there. He was very cooperative. He took my details, my age and symptoms, and he gave me a number of a doctor whom I should be calling and telling about my symptoms. He told me to go into immediate isolation in the home itself, into a room that has an attached bath, and I should isolate myself, should not mingle with anybody in the home, and I should be separated. I started isolation from the time we decided that we should be getting tested. So I was already in isolation. I had taken out all the stuff that the kids required, and I had put it in another room, and I was in another room with water and my brush, my essential toiletries, and maybe some books and a journal if you really want to jot down and write things. So yeah, so after we called the NMMC, we got the number, we told our details, then we got the number of another doctor, and we called her up, and she also took my details, and then she said we would get a call from the NMMC team, because once the results come, the data goes to the ICMR database, and it gets updated, and they contact the officials, and that is how we are being contacted by them. So I kept waiting, and late evening I got a call from a nurse who was in charge of our area. She called us. She took details of my symptoms, whatever I was having, and whatever else she thought I might be having. And she told me that my symptoms were very mild, and I did not need any hospitalization, but I would still be in isolation for 8 days. And she said that they would bring a kit to us the next day, or in 1 or 2 days is what she told. So I was just supposed to wait for 2 days or 1 day till I got the kit. And till then I was advised to take multivitamins and vitamin C tablets. So those I was actually taking since the time I started getting the fatigueness and body ache, and yeah, I was also taking paracetamol till then. So I was advised to take those, and there was nothing else about whether they would come and see me, or they would take any tests for the family members. Nothing at all was told. So I kept waiting. The next day, the whole day went by. By around I think 7:30 or so, I got a call from the police station. They took my details, my age and symptoms, and just advised me to be in home isolation. They asked me if I had gone out anywhere, and surprisingly, I had not gone out anywhere at all. I was at home for all the 4 5 months. The only thing that I went out was to get the milk packets from the basement almost every day. So, according to the police and the NMMC, the probable source of contact for the infection would be the lift, which was obviously used by a lot of people. So apart from that, I had not gone out anywhere. So I had not met anybody, and nobody had come to visit us also. So there was probably no possibility of somebody who's been at home to get infected. But yeah, I did get infected. So after that, around I think in the evening, the nurse had come, and she had not come to our apartment or anything. She had just given a packet with HCQ tablets, multivitamins, paracetamol, and some anti-acid acidity tablets with the guard at the basement, and she'd gone. She just left that there and gone. So when I called her, she said, yeah, we do not visit. They're not supposed to visit the patient or meet or check or see if that patient is critical or not critical, and they probably have to just believe on the phone call. So we got the medicines, and then we were just sitting with the medicines for around 2 3 hours till she called me back again to tell me how to take the medicines, what would be the dosage, and everything. So the dose and everything, I think, depends upon the person, the amount of criticality of the situation, and the symptoms. So I'm not going to tell about the dosage, but yeah, multivitamins, vitamin C, and paracetamol is the basic medicine that would help if you are having very mild infection and mild symptoms like mine, where I didn't have temperature for all the days, and I didn't have sore throat, very sore throat. That is what I mean. I did not have cold, and yeah, I had headache, body ache throughout. So that was there, and that was really bad backache, body ache, leg ache. So I asked the nurse that these are just 5 days medicine. So what is the plan? How do I go ahead after the dose completes? So the response was that after 5 days I was going to be cured, and I should stay in isolation for a complete of 8 days. After 8 days, I should be in home quarantine for 14 days. And the family members were supposed to be in home quarantine from the day I got tested till the 14th day, and then they can go out. There was nothing about the family members getting tested. I was just told that you can go and get them, get the antigen tests of all the family members done at a nearby hospital where it was being done for free. So we didn't really go there because we were worried, we were scared that kids might get infected over there, because maybe a lot of people with symptoms were visiting that place for the antigen test, and we did not want an antigen test for the kids at that place. So while I was in isolation, yeah, after that I said, so what about the retest? And as per the government order, there is no retest mandatory for patients who do not have fever or cold cough for 3 to 4 days at the stretch. So yeah, according to government, I do not need a retest. And for the family, we again did a private test with the Metropolis lab in a similar manner, and thanks to God, all of them tested negative. So my infection wasn't spread to them. Towards the end of my isolation, maybe when just 1 or 2 days were left, I was sort of getting back my taste and smell. It came slowly. The taste came first, so I started getting the taste of sabzis, and then eventually dal and rice, I think, was the last thing, or roti was the last things that I tasted. Smell took a while. For a very long time, I just couldn't even smell sanitizer. So the first thing I smelled, faint smell started coming, was of the sanitizer, and then in around 2 to 4 days, I regained my smell as well. Initially, it was very weak, but eventually, yeah, I could smell well. And even after isolation, when I could smell properly, I still felt that it wasn't very strong. So that took, I think, around 6 to 7 days to come back fully. And it is not that everybody is going to take 6 to 7 days. It can take longer or lesser for all of us. The other thing that I would like to share is isolation can be the most difficult part of this whole process. It leaves you with a feeling of abandonedness, though everybody is there with you, they're supporting you. It makes you very anxious at times. It brings a lot of negative thoughts. Staying alone in a locked room cannot be fun, and it isn't. I kept myself busy with reading, and I did watch some light-hearted movies, and I wrote down whatever I felt at that time. It was like a diary entry that I did, I think, around after every half an hour or so. And it was difficult to keep hearing your kids and see that they were going through a tough time. But yeah, your family is important, is what you realize at that time. They were all together, they were working hard for my betterment, and I was isolating for a reason, that they should not get infected. Though this isn't a crime, getting infected, still this disease comes with its own baggage of social stigma. People are worried, people are scared and anxious, and they don't know what to do. So the first response you get from your surroundings is that you should just not get tested, because probably you're not very critically ill, and that is why you just get better. Yeah, which is true. Your body, with your age, and if you're not having any other diseases like diabetes or hypertension or any such comorbidities, probably your body will fight it out, and you'll be fine quicker, and you'll be fine by yourself. But still still people are worried that one should not get tested, and testing in itself brings a lot of panic within people who are around you, who are supporting you, who are there with you, but still they get panicked, and they are not sure whether you did the right thing. But at the end of the day, you would be doing the right thing if you're going to get tested, and if you're going to go into isolation and you're going to follow the rules, that's the correct thing to do. You're only going to save yourself, you're going to save your family, you're going to save your surroundings, you're going to save everybody else. I wish there is some takeaways from this video for some of you at least, and I want you to watch this video only because I think there are certain things that we are not sure about. We don't know whether where to go, and we don't know what to do next. We don't know if we are feeling ill, or if we feel that we are positive, should we be scared? No, we should not be scared. It is not groundbreaking, earth shattering. It is all right. We all can get infected. It is just a virus. Just treat it like a flu. If you are otherwise healthy, you need not worry at all. Just take precautions and go for testing. Get yourself tested, get the medicines, and get cured, and save everyone else from getting infected. That is the best thing to do. And I would suggest that the people around you support you, and do not expect that just because one person in your family is infected, you should be abandoned and you should be left to fend for yourselves. And the time is tough because none of your family members can go out. You may or may not get essentials, and at that time there'll be few people who would be there around, who would be helping you, and I think you should value them. And others who feel scared or who feel intimidated that they might get infected should know that the family that is going through this infection and who has got themselves tested has done it so that they don't infect anybody else. So you should support them. And I think the NMMC or the authorities should also take such little stronger steps in getting the society tested to figure out where the infections come. And I hope there is something for everybody in this video, and it was helpful. Thank you. Stay safe and don't be scared if you are not feeling well. It is all right. You will be fine.